It's indeed a matter of great privilege for me to welcome you all on behalf of Trust for Advancement of Agricultural Sciences, a think tank aimed to link science to society through policy advocacy and public awareness. I especially welcome our chief guest today, and of course, very old colleague and esteemed friend, Professor S.K. Vassal, a distinguished scientist and World Food Laureate, as well as MS Swaminathan awardee in the past. And I also welcome our trustees and Vice Chair, Dr. Gurbachan Singh, Sri Raju Barwaleji, Dr. Bhagmal, Anjali Makhija, representing the Sehgal Foundation and the institute called IRAD, based in Gurgaon. Many distinguished guests today, I see, and with their spouses. So, Professor R.B. Singh, Sushma ji, Raju Barwale ji and Sushma ji, myself and Shashi, Dr. H.S. Gupta and Mrs. Gupta, Dr. T.C. Jain, Dr. Pental, Dr. K.L.M. Pathak, Dr. Jalali, Bhushan Jalali, again my very close associate and friend, Dr. G.L. Kaul. I see many distinguished persons, Dr. Sadamate and many in the audience. Dr. Anupam Verma, you are sitting behind. You have to be in the front row because you are the initiator of this trust. And distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, excuse me if I cannot, call by name each one because time is limited. We are already behind by about 10 minutes, and we have online, and you would be seeing many distinguished participants, especially the recipient of this award, Dr. Suri Sehgal is there. So we welcome him to join us. Professor Ratan Lal, also one of the awardees of Swaminathan Foundation in the year 2009 is with us, and again World Food Laureate and very close supporter of our trust. We have with us also with Soumya Swaminathan ji. Soumya Swaminathan ji, welcome. So kind of you to have graced this event, which is very much appreciated. In fact, we met only 2 days back, and she was even saying that if Dr. Swaminathan's health is good, she will try to see if he can be also there for a few minutes to bless the audience and the awardee. But maybe Dr. Swaminathan health doesn't permit. He had been attending all our events in the past, all awards. Personally, he had been there. For the last 2 years, we have been missing him. But you all know that we celebrated 98th birthday only during this month, and he is keeping good health, and we pray Almighty for his continued health and prosperity. We also have many other on. I'm told that Ambassador Kenneth Quinn, also, who is the chief of the World Food Award Foundation, is also online, and we see many other distinguished people participating in today's function. Well, friends, firstly about trust. This was the creation after the first Science Congress that was held of this particular millennium in 2001 on IRI campus. And the organizers that time decided that after the release of the vision document, that was the first vision document released, which was by all academies in science in India. And that was a document on food, nutrition, and environment security. And that was released by Atal Bihari Vajpayee that time. And we all thought that food, nutrition, environment security is not a subject which is discussed once and forgotten. This is a subject which has to be all the time alive, and it is still a matter of concern. And therefore, we need to see that the science is linked to society for agriculture, innovation, and development. And in that respect, when we today see to this award, I see there is definite link of innovation with development. The chief guest this time this is a deviation. Earlier the president, prime minister, ministers, all eminent people, and if I give you a brief account, Norman Borlaug was the first recipient who had received this from that time Dr. Abdul J. Kalam. Then Dr. Khush was the second World Food Laureate again, who received from Dr. Manmohan Singh. Dr. S.K. Vassal himself was the third recipient, and he had received from Dr. M.G.K. Menon in 2008. And we started it in 2004 as Sonal had earlier indicated. Then Dr. Ratan Lal had received from Montek Ahluwalia ji, and Dr. Rajaram. Most of these had been all World Food awardees, but some of them became World Food awardee after they received MS Swaminathan award. Dr. Mahapatra, welcome. Mr. Mahapatra, kindly come in front, maybe possible. And then Dr. William Dar from Dr. Kasturi Rangan, Dr. Mohan Saxena from Dr. Balram Jakhar, again Dr. Thomas Lumpkin from Dr. MS Swaminathan himself, Dr. Uma Lele from Dr. Alak, Dr. John Dixon from Ismail Seregardin, chairman of CGIR. And last year, because of COVID, we had not been able to have the award function organized physically. So it was virtually organized for 2020 and 2021. And both awardees were Dr. Sanjan Fan, the Director General then of IFPRI, and Dr. Adil El Beltaji, the former Director General of ICARDA. And they both received from Dr. Vijay Raghavan. But this time we thought, why not one of our own distinguished scientists to be the chief guest, who had been linked with the innovation, and innovation of quality protein maize is known to all of you. I don't have to tell about it. And that would have not been possible had there not been the sincere efforts of people like him in research to make a difference. And then innovation to be linked to the society through development. And Suri Sehgal, about whom we will hear and know more as we go along with the program, is the person who really took the seeds of revolution to the farmers' fields. So it is a deviation this time, but I would say happy coincidence. And we are grateful to you, Dr. Vassal, for having agreed to be the chief guest. I would not like to take long, would like to only say that it is a great pleasure to have you here. We have an impressive program. Dr. Himanshu Pathak was also supposed to be with us, but his flight from Bhopal is yet to land, but he will join us during dinner time. And most of you have accepted our invitation on a short notice, which we very much value. The trust has been continuing its efforts to see that there are important innovations reaching the end users. And in the process, we try to catalyze policymakers. We try to organize brainstorming sessions, national conferences, and even some of the international conferences. Time is not enough to tell about what we have been doing, but our activities are on the website, and 2 decades of tasks were published and released. The details were released recently. They can be all seen on our website and shared with you. And we do see that you require some of such initiatives. We have been working with ICR in close collaboration with also National Academy of Agriculture Sciences and other scientific societies, and trying to see that topics of national importance are deliberated and rather neutral decisions are taken, which are not influenced by any other stakeholders group, but all stakeholders are involved in the dialogue. So with this, I would like to say how happy we are to have you here. Since already we are slightly late, I would like to say that we proceed with our program as lined up. So now floor is with you.
Thank you, sir. It is my honor to invite Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, Chairperson, MS Swaminathan Research Foundation, to please convey Dr. Swaminathan's message. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you very much. Good evening, distinguished guests, Dr. Paroda and Dr. Vasal, and particularly the recipient of the award today, Dr. Sehgal, and I think many members of your family are also online. So greetings and best wishes and congratulations to you all. My father was very, very happy. I read out the invitation as well as the details of the function. And Dr. Sehgal, he was delighted that you are the recipient of this year's award. He's unable to be present during this function, but he very much enjoyed to watch the proceedings, which I know are being recorded. And so last year's proceedings also, we were able to show him on the YouTube channel, and he watched most of the program, and he was very happy, always very happy, especially when he sees old friends, colleagues, and familiar faces. And he would have loved to have been there in person, but it's physically not possible for him. So the family would like to thank TAS very much, Dr. Paroda, for your leadership, for establishing this award and continuing it over many years, even through the pandemic years. I remember being connected by Zoom when the 2020 and 2021 awards were given. And also thanks to the Mahiko family, to Raju and Usha Barwale, for having supported this award. As Dr. Paroda said, the award has recognized real global leadership in agricultural sciences, and all of the recipients so far have been recognized globally for their vision, for their leadership, and also for the contributions they have made to agricultural science as well as to development in general. And from what I've read of Dr. Sehgal's life and career, I think his career has been one of dedication to the cause of helping communities around the world. I know he has traveled extensively, and then of course his and his family's philanthropic initiatives are all really commendable. And I feel very privileged to have this opportunity to convey the congratulations of Professor Swaminathan, and also to thank you all for organizing this wonderful award function. Thank you very much.
Thank you so much, ma'am. We are indebted to Mahiko for their benevolence and support. I invite Mr. Raju Barwale, Chairman Mahiko, to address the gathering.
Good evening, everybody. Respected Dr. Vasal, Chief Guest for today's program. Respected Dr. Suri Sehgal, recipient of this year's Leadership Award. Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, Chairperson MS Swaminathan Foundation. Respected Dr. Paroda, Chairman TAS, Dr. Gurbhajan Singh, Dr. Bhagmal, Dr. Anjali Makhija, CEO, SM Sehgal Foundation, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. It's an honor for me to attend today's function for recognizing leadership in agriculture. This, as already said, this recognition is awarded to organizations for their significant contributions through science and technology to the cause of agriculture and rural development. Barwale Foundation is privileged to support this leadership award over last many years as Mahiko, our parent organization's journey in the seed industry, has been synonymous with the development of Indian agriculture through application of scientific achievements. I would like to congratulate Dr. Suri Sehgal, founder, SM Sehgal Foundation India and Sehgal Foundation US, on receiving the 13th MS Swaminathan Award for Leadership in Agriculture, which is being bestowed on him for his excellent rural development activities across the country, impacting lives of millions of farmers, rural folks through their community-based approach, which makes it unique and the development sustainable. I have had the privilege of having met Dr. Sehgal a number of times during the World Seed Congresses in my formative years in the seed industry, and I can emphatically say that I have learned and gained a lot out of those meetings. As we all know, Indian agriculture has progressed significantly over the past many years with the application of science and technology. We have become the largest producers in the number of crops, and agriculture exports are an important part of our economy today. However, we all recognize that this is not enough and much more needs to be done to address the various challenges facing agriculture, namely climate change, declining availability of fresh water, declining availability of labor, cost of labor, deteriorating soil health, etc. While science can give us solutions to overcome these challenges and take our agriculture to the next level, these developments need to be deployed in the farmer's field. This is where organizations and individuals such as Sehgal Foundation, Dr. Suri Sehgal, and many similar ones that would be instrumental and needed in taking this to the farmer's field. I am confident that this leadership award bestowed on Dr. Suri Sehgal would inspire many more such organizations and individuals to come forward to take up the cause of agriculture, Indian agriculture, to address and overcome the above challenges. I am grateful to the organizers of today's award function for having provided me this opportunity to share my thoughts. Thank you.
Thank you, sir. We would like to now present a short film on today's awardee, Dr. Suri Sehgal, founder and trustee, SM Sehgal Foundation India and Sehgal Foundation USA.
My life story is that if you work hard, you can do miracles here. We are here because we got help. We didn't do it on our own. So our job is to pass it on to the next generation at the same time. that you need to help others. When I sold my business, I shared my fortune with every employee in the company. I felt very strongly that without the people, we could not succeed in business. People made us successful. I always felt very strongly that those of us who have had the good fortune in this country, that we should give back to our origin, our country, which provided us free education and made everything possible.
The life of Suri Segal, born in the part of India that is now Pakistan, is a quintessential American success story. He overcame adversity in his country of origin and became a successful and esteemed crop scientist, seedsman, and entrepreneur who is making a profound difference in the lives of millions of people in the developing world. Surinder Mohan Suri Segal was born in 1934 in a small town, Guliana, in the then undivided British-occupied Indian province of Punjab. He was the fifth of 8 children of a Sikh mother, Sushila Kaur Vadhadvan, and a Hindu father, Fakir Chand Shahji Segal, a disciple and follower of Mahatma Gandhi and member of the Indian National Congress working for India's independence from British rule.
And he grew up with very strong Gandhian ideals, and he had a very happy childhood up until a certain point. When partition came to India in 1947.
Suri was 13 when the British Raj finally left, dividing the subcontinent into 2 nations, India and Pakistan. The violence and bloodshed that followed claimed countless lives. In the midst of the mayhem, Shahji Segal decided to send 3 of his 6 daughters with his oldest son, Badar, to the relative safety of India.
So his dad woke Suri up about 5 o'clock in the morning and said, "You have to come and help me get your sisters to the train station, help carry the luggage." And so they got to the train station and were horrified to find that it was so crowded.
My 2 sisters got squeezed into one compartment, and my brother got squeezed into another compartment. And Toshi, Santosh, who's 11 years old, had no place, and she was put into another compartment.
And Suri's father, in a panic as the train was pulling away, pushed Suri on the train and said, "Take care of your sister."
The train ride, which lasted several days, was terrifying for the Segal siblings.
Every time the train stopped, there were bloody bodies all around the train tracks where people were being killed.
Once his sisters were temporarily safe with a friend on the India side, young Suri went to Delhi to find their uncle. Homeless for weeks, he slept in empty train cars and attended evening prayer meetings held by Mahatma Gandhi, who was trying to hold people together in the chaos. While sitting at Gandhi's feet each evening, Suri heard ideas that reinforced what his father had always stressed in their home about inclusion and equality, including gender equality, that girls deserve the same good education as boys. That message soaked in deeply, and the seeds were planted for Suri's lifelong priorities. The Segal family eventually reunited at a refugee camp. Though they lost all their possessions, land and business, they were grateful to be alive. The Segals rebuilt their lives in Amritsar, near the Pakistan border. Suri completed high school and went on to earn bachelor's and master's degrees and honors in botany in India. His dream was now to study plant genetics with Harvard professor Paul C. Mangelsdorf, a giant in the field. Harvard University accepted Suri, and he arrived in the United States in the summer of 1959. In the summer of 1962, Suri met a beautiful German girl, Etta Jelinski, whose visa was being sponsored by a political science professor at Harvard. The family spoke fluent German and helped Etta learn English.
Etta, remarkably, had a similar refugee past, although the two didn't share that information with each other. She came from a part of Germany that is now Poland. Her family escaped in the dead of night and went by horse cart to get out of danger. And they ended up meeting each other, and it was like firecrackers.
In June 1963, Suri successfully defended his PhD thesis, which explored changes that occur when corn is hybridized with its 2 wild relatives, Teosinte and Tripsicum.
after graduation, my major professor suggested that before I go back, it will be good if I get practical training.
In September 1963, Suri arrived in Des Moines, Iowa, in a car he purchased for $200 to work as postdoctoral fellow at what was then a regional seed company called Pioneer Hybrid Corn Company. Pioneer was founded by Henry A. Wallace, who served as U.S. Vice President under Franklin D. Roosevelt. Suri was thrilled to launch his career there and work alongside Dr. William Lacey Brown, another doyen in the field of plant genetics. Suri found the Midwest and Iowa extremely welcoming. Within a few months, Etta joined Suri in Iowa. Bill Brown was highly impressed with excellent relationship. Halfway through the fellowship, Dr. Brown offered Suri a job as a tropical corn breeding specialist in Jamaica. On September 26, Suri and Etta were married in the home of Bill and Alice Brown with a small reception for the couple. The next day, Suri and Etta left for Jamaica to pursue Dr. Brown's dream of developing a hybrid of corn maize adapted to the tropics.
It takes normally 6-7 years to develop a new product, but tropical countries have an advantage because you can get 2, sometimes you can get more than 2 crops per year. You are not limited to 1 crop, so the cycle goes quick.
In 6 years, Suri turned what started as a research project into a profitable venture with 5 hybrids.
Certainly we were also making money for the company, for the headquarters. It was a little eye-opener that there is a business possibility. So that's how the whole international business of Pioneer got started.
Suri's bosses were impressed with what he did in Jamaica and now offered a big new assignment for him.
I got in the mail a letter, would you be interested to come to Des Moines, return to Des Moines, and start the international program.
Suri and Etta returned to Iowa in 1970, now with 2 children, Kenny and Ben, who were born during their stint in Jamaica. Over 24 years, Suri built the Pioneer Overseas Corporation and helped make Pioneer Hybrid International a Fortune 500 company in the process.
With his special brand of personality and strategic thinking and initiative, he started 100 separate businesses overseas.
Bill Brown was greatly impressed with Suri's talent for creating new relationships and lucrative partnerships, and Suri appreciated Dr. Brown's leadership style.
He would empower the people but never tell people what to do. That principle I followed throughout.
Pioneer Overseas registered outstanding growth under Suri's leadership. By 1988, the company had more than 1,600 employees in 60 countries with 27 breeding stations. Soon after the retirement of Bill Brown, Suri left Pioneer and took a chief operating officer position with a company in Belgium on the cutting edge of new technologies. Then in 1989, Suri launched his own entrepreneurial career and set up 4 companies. One was a small seed company in India that he acquired full ownership of as part of an agreement with Pioneer. The company, ProAgro, focused on 4 crops: corn, millet, sorghum, and sunflower. By incorporating biotechnology and IT innovations to the Indian seed industry, ProAgro became the largest hybrid seed company in India. In 1998, after building ProAgro for 10 years, Suri and Etta received an offer from the German giant, now Bayer, that they couldn't refuse.
When they received the multi-million for the sale of these companies, they shared the wealth with every single person that worked for the company.
Years later, Suri did the same when he sold another seed business, Mizr High-Tech, which was based in Egypt. Suri and Etta decided to devote the bulk of the money they received from the sale of ProAgro to help the rural poor in Suri's country of origin.
The Sagals are very low-key, so their American story is a modest one. Once they achieved success, they looked at who should benefit from their wealth. They view themselves as trustees, as stewards. stewards of the wealth that they made. They wanted to give it back to rural India because farmers had been such a part of his seed business, and his roots being in India, that seemed inappropriate.
He really felt that this was the right time for him to move to the next stage in his life, is getting into philanthropy aspect, because I think that's always have been in his mind.
Suri and Etta set up two foundations, one in the United States and the other in India, with the goal of making a positive difference in the lives of the rural poor in India.
इस बार हमें सैगल फाउंडेशन की तरफ से कुछ ब्रोकली का बीज दिया उन्होंने, तो उन बीज को उगाया, तो हमने थोड़ी ट्रायल किया उसका, तो अच्छी जर्मिनेशन थी बीज की भी, और खारे पानी का बीज था ये, और हमने उसको लगाया खेत में, तो काफी अच्छी पैदावार हुई उसकी, तो किसान को इससे बहुत फायदा होता है.
From the beginning, the foundation's goals were to address the most pressing needs of India's poorest rural communities: food security, water security, and good governance, with a primary focus on the empowerment of women.
He agreed with Kofi Annan that no rural development is possible without the empowerment of girls and women.
हमारा गांव पिछड़े गांव में गिनती थी. जब से सैगल फाउंडेशन की टीम हमारे गांव में आई है, उन्होंने हमसे संपर्क किया गांव वालों से. उसके बाद में हमको हर एक सरकारी योजना के बारे में जानकारी मिलने लगी, और भी जो भी सरकारी योजनाएं जो भी आती हैं, हमारे अनाज नहीं मिलता था नए राशन कार्ड वालों को, हमसे बार बार सैगल फाउंडेशन की टीम ने आकर मीटिंग में हमें बताया, फिर हमारे सबको अनाज मिलने लग गया, पानी की व्यवस्था हो गई. भाई संगठन में कितनी शक्ति है.
For more than 20 years, Siegel Foundation teams have worked in partnership with community members to build their capacities to take responsibility for their own development and bring about a more promising future for the farm families that make up rural India.
The Siegel Foundation scientists, the engineers that work there, there's hydraulics experts who are on staff who've invented technologies that are making a difference. Schools are being transformed so that kids are learning digital literacy and life skills, and girls are coming back to school because they're making sure the schools have, the government schools have bathrooms for both boys and girls, which wasn't the case and isn't the case in most of the schools.
Suri and Etta have also supported educational and environmental causes in the U.S. They have long supported the World Food Prize Foundation, an iconic Iowa institution that honors leaders in the global food supply.
Since I am from agriculture, my desire was to do whatever I can to uplift the people in the villages, in the rural India, where the greatest poverty lies.
We always felt that we should do something for India. Suri always felt very strongly about that because he saw the need, obviously, and he felt that he got such a very good education there. Otherwise, nothing would have been possible for him in this country. We really saw the difference that we had made in the villages where they were growing our seed corn, where we worked with farmers. It was tremendous, the development that took place.
And those same values continue with his wife Etta, his partner every step of the way, who shares his vision and who has collaborated fully with Suri in his business and philanthropic efforts from the start. Suri Siegel embodies the soul and potential of America, its hopes and dreams. His American journey is not just a story of a person shaping his own future and accomplishing success. It's also about how he used the success he achieved in America to create an ecosystem of sorts that provides people in faraway villages with opportunities to live more secure, prosperous, and dignified lives.
We are thankful for the well-documented movie on Dr. Sehgal's awe-inspiring life. I now request Dr. Gurbachan Singh, Vice Chairman TAS, to please read the citation of the award.
Thank you very much, Madam Ji. Very good evening. Chief guest for today's function, Honorable Dr. S.K. Vassal Ji, World Food Laureate, Chairman TAS, Dr. Prodha Sahab, Chairman Michael, Dr. Raju Rayawale Ji, Madam Anjali Ji, Dr. Bhagmal Ji, very distinguished people in this gathering. I see Professor R.B. Singh Ji, Dr. C.D. Mai Ji, Dr. Deepak Painter Ji, Dr. Pathak Ji, Dr. Kaur Ji, Dr. Jalali Ji, Dr. Gupta Ji, Dr. Mahapatra Ji, and Dr. Anupam Ji, Dr. Swaminathan, many people. I also extend a very hearty welcome to all of you, very respected ladies. It is an honor for me to read the citation of a person who lived in this world and created a history involving his family in linking science to the grassroots level, taking the disadvantaged people out of poverty to development, and I feel really well that I have been given this opportunity to read the citation. Friends, Dr. Swaminathan Singh M. Sehgal is a visionary institution for agricultural enterprise and the founder and trustee of SM Sehgal Foundation India and Sehgal Foundation USA. Throughout his life, Dr. Suri has made outstanding contributions to help alleviate poverty in rural areas and increase agricultural productivity sustainable for millions of small farmers living on arid, rain-dependent land who were largely bypassed by the Green Revolution. A crop scientist, forest scientist, and a leader in high seed industry development, he is the principal established experts in wild agriculture. His vision to empower the rural side development. From Harvard University School, he began his career first as a scientist and then as a global leader. So, with the diversity of and later he and his wife established Sehgal Foundation, a non-profit foundation based in Iowa, USA, and SM Sehgal Foundation, a public charitable trust based in Gurugram, Haryana, India. With the one idea that one wealth is not one thing. What we share, we decided to work in a holistic way, sustainable village development, believing that every person in the 640,000 plus rural communities across India deserves a secure, prosperous, and dignified life. The National Cell Foundation began that district of some of the lowest socio-economic issues and aspirational by meeting in 1959 that Suri felt that if development interventions succeeded in that, which replicate elsewhere, and they have been. The work launched 2.5 decades back under the mentorship in 4 reached 2 million people in 1900 plus states. With support from and partners, SM Sagar Foundation works together with rural communities to create sustainable programs to manage water resources, encourage agricultural productivity, strengthen local participation in village governance, transform lives one school at a time, empower women and girls, and continue outreach for further development. The interventions have improved availability, access, and quality of water, improved farms practices and farmer income, promoted local participation in government programs to increase women's participation, empowered youth, especially adults and girls, on digital and life skills awareness, transformed school environments, and continues to expand their reach to empower rural India. The for advancement of agriculture sciences had great pleasure presenting the prestigious Dr. M.S. Swaminathan Award for Leadership in Agriculture for 2022 to Dr. Surinder Suri M. Sehgal for his lifetime outstanding contribution. Trustees of TAS IRA New Delhi, 19 August 2023. Thank you very much.
Thank you, sir. May I now request the chief guest for today's program, Dr. S.K. Vassal, World Food Laureate, and one of the previous recipients of this prestigious award, to please present the Dr. M.S. Swaminathan Award for Leadership in Agriculture for year 2022 to Dr. Surinder Mohan Sehgal, founder and trustee, SM Sehgal Foundation India and Sehgal Foundation USA. We are honored that Dr. Sehgal has joined us virtually from USA, and on his behalf, the award and the citation will be received by Dr. Anjali Makhija, CEO, SM Sehgal Foundation. As you can see on the screen, the award trophy is also with Dr. Sehgal. May I request for a bigger round of applause, please? Can I request the photographer to take a picture from my angle so that you can get Dr. Suri Sehgal in the background, please?
Yes, ma'am. Okay. Okay. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Congratulations, sir, for the well-deserved award. So we request you to please share your thoughts.
Thank you very much for the beautiful award and very much appreciated. And thanks real sincere thanks. It is an honor for me to receive the 2022 Swaminathan Award. It is indeed a very prestigious award, as the name Swaminathan and Borlaug are synonymous with the Green Revolution. I'm very proud that I witnessed the Green Revolution in its formative years in the late 50s, and used to visit IARI very frequently while I was still in Delhi. It is, as I said, it is indeed a very prestigious award because of the very the names Swaminathan and Dr. Borlaug were responsible for the Green Revolution. But I left in India in 1959 to pursue higher studies in the US. I was encouraged to do my graduate work under Professor Paul C. Mangelstow, who had visited India in 1952 as a team member, sponsored by the Rockefeller Foundation. The other two members were very eminent scientists from the US, all from the Rockefeller Foundation, George Gerhardt and Wieger. This used to, when I was a graduate student with Professor Mangelstow, I heard from him a lot of stories. How the award was evolved over a period, how the Green Revolution was evolved over a period, first in Mexico and then in India. Now, coming back to the graduate study, in 1956, on the recommendation of this study team, the agreement was signed between the United States and the Rockefeller Foundation, between Rockefeller Foundation and the government of India. In fact, it was a very prestigious, it was a revolutionary agreement, and this is the one which, as you said, is revolutionary agreement because it set the stage for the Green Revolution to come in the years in the future. After I did my graduate studies, as you saw in the video, I joined a small seed company, which at that time was a regional company, as a tropical corn breeder. My growth in the company over the next 10 years was very swift. Very quickly I was promoted to the position of head of international operations, and then eventually president of Pioneer Overseas Corporation and a corporate vice president. It was a very fast growth in the company because we were growing very nicely and doing a lot of good to the people all over the world. Then that in 1980s, new technologies were developing. This is recombinant DNA technologies in Europe and North America. In Europe, Belgium was the leader in this technology. Most of the work was done at University of Ghent by Professor Mark van Montague and Joseph Schell. Joseph Shell moved to Germany later on, and I was approached by Professor Mark Montague to come and to get Belgium. Why, I don't know. I think it was just since I had a lot of experience in getting the technology to the farmers, that how to incorporate the new technology into downstream into these into new products. While I was in Belgium, Plant Genetic Systems was the leader in this recombinant technology, DNA recombinant technology. Plant Genetic System was not only leader in this technology, but also they were leader in the Bar-Star hybrid system, which is based on nuclear male sterility. These were all new technology, and I wanted to be in it. And no question, I wanted to be in. Professor Montague invited me to come and join Plant Genetic System. I was appointed Chief Operating Officer. I had a very good position. I could really make an impact how to transfer these new technologies, the BT gene and this male sterility into different crops, like we did it in canola, the Bar-Star hybrid system. It was a wonderful experience for me. The rest is a long history, because how we developed these technologies, how we got them into the seed business, and how the farmers benefited from it, especially in North America. At the same time, while I was based in Europe, my wife and I had a group of these seed companies, which we started earlier, and they were developing very nicely. We had three companies in India and one in Egypt. There were total 4 companies, which we call Pro-Agro Group of companies. I was driven more that the hybrid technology had done so well in the US, and also in India was had gone through the Green Revolution in the 60s. In America, because of the land grant college system, which was introduced also in India with that agreement, which I mentioned, 1956. Prior to that, our agriculture system in India was more empire-centric to prepare the people, the scientists, to serve the colonial powers. Land grant system is very much farmer-centric, to take care of the farmers. Farmers come first, and this was a very important decision. As I said earlier, it was a revolutionary agreement, which planted the seeds of the revolution. Coming back to Europe, I was spending a little time, 6 years in Belgium, which was wonderful experience. I got an offer from Germany. I moved to Germany primarily it's the same thing, to integrate new technology into the seed business. Our group of companies in India, as you saw in the movie, they were listed in 1998. I remember, as you said, we got financial security and some wealth. I remember what Gandhiji had said, this wealth is not yours. This belongs to the society. Keep what you need for your legitimate needs and give the rest back to society. That is the spirit which drove us to establish these two foundations, one in North America, one in the US, based in Des Moines, and the other one is in India, which is based right here in Gurugram. The foundation in the US, we pretty much focused on environmental issues, conservation of biodiversity, and the environment, total environment conservation and biodiversity. These all areas are very dear to Professor Swaminathan, for whom this award is named. It is we know the problems in India, and the foundation in India, we thought the problems of India are rural India, because most of the people make their living, when I say most, more than whether you say 50 or 70%, or 70% of the people live in the villages. So the foundation in India focused on rural India. We are the only foundation which is focused on. We don't work in the urban area. We work primarily in rural India. It is. It has 4 programs, and you saw some in video. We work on agricultural development, sustainable agriculture development. We have many projects on. We have close to. We do a lot of components of smart agriculture, whether it's water conservation or whether it's enriching the soils and so on. And improving the soils. And the programs are well laid out, and they're very effective and very impact. As I said, we have 4 programs: agriculture, water management, good rural governance, and the people, empowerment of women, and transform lives one school at a time. All these programs are intertwined. Everything works together. And it is primarily to empower, lead to women empowerment. This is the flagship program. The key goal is, in the beginning, our goal was population stabilization, and then shifted to women empowerment. If the women are empowered, family will stabilize. And so you will work on the fundamentals and not of this, what leads to village development. Throughout my life, I have received a lot of help, as you saw in the video. I'm very grateful to my mentor. I'm very grateful to many people who helped us. Ours has been a very interesting journey. You saw my wife speak in the video, and she's somewhere in the audience in the other room, and I'm very grateful to her, because since 1988 we have worked together on all kinds of projects, especially the projects in rural India. As said, our life journey, has been a very interesting journey. It is full of hopes and aspirations, and successes and failures. The failures are, we did not accept them as failures. We accepted together. We accepted them as challenges, which need to be overcome. And we succeeded in that. Let me conclude by saying that we remember, nothing lost in life, neither the power, nor the glory, nor the wealth, nothing. I've seen a lot of power and I've seen a lot of wealth, but nothing lost in life forever. What lost is the legacy that one leaves behind. Our legacy is in these two foundations, and the committed people we have in the foundation. Over 300 people now. Most of them work in the villages, and a few core group works in the head office, which you can call as a think tank on the programs, because the programs have to be ultimately implemented in the villages. Our goal is always to close the loop, work from the fundamentals and from the top to bottom, bottom to top. Most of our is bottom driven. We pride ourselves as a grassroots organization which works in the rural India. And I would like to thank many people once more. Thank you, Dr. Prodha, and the members of the board of the TAS for the award. For this very prestigious award. That I would like to thank many people who spoke, especially Dr. Swaminathan, and thank you, madam, for your participation and your very kind words. Thank you, Dr. Gurbachan Singh, Dr. Paroda, the members of the steering committee, and Raju Barwale, and of course our CEO, Anjali Makhija, that it has been, as I said, under this, to manage the foundation in India is not an easy task, but we are making a lot of impact, of which we are proud. And thank you very much. And in the US, of course, I just wanted to mention that our emphasis, all the work which do in conservation and biodiversity, is done through Missouri Botanical Garden, which is based in St. Louis. It is one of the largest gardens in the world. It is, after Kew, I think they're the second most important garden. In India, our work on conservation is through, we have been working through ITRI, and ITRI, which is a Ashoka Trust for Environment and Ecology, which is based in Bangalore. It is making an impact, as I said, all these areas, rural environment, rural India, the poor people, the biodiversity, and the conservation are all very have been dear to Professor Swaminathan. Soumyaji, please convey our regards to Dr. Swaminathan. I should not forget Dr. Vassal, S.K. Vassal, I call him S.K., who have been associated for a long time. And so thank you for your participation. And we are very grateful to that. And thank you to everyone. Again, the audience, I see a lot of distinguished people. It is, there's no time to thank everyone, but I'm grateful for your participation. And it has been a very nice function. And once more, thank you, Dr. Puroda and the TAS. And have a nice evening. And thank you. Bye-bye. Bye-bye. I forgot to thank my wife, because as I said a couple of times, that we have worked very closely together. She has been to India at least 40 times or more, and sat in through all the meetings in the early the stages of whether it was a commercial business or for a non-profit business. But our interest is more in non-profit, and that's wonderful that she takes so much interest in the improvement, empowerment of women. Thank you, madam. Thank you, everyone.
Thank you, sir, for being a torchbearer and inspiring us through your work. Once again, I request everyone to put their hands together for Dr. Sehgal, a leading crop scientist, a change maker, a philanthropist, and the recipient of the 13th Dr. M.S. Swaminathan Award for Leadership in Agriculture.
Thank you.
I now request our chief guest for the day, Dr. S.K. Vassal, to please address the gathering.
Well, good evening, everybody, and also good morning to some of the friends who are from US. I'm really very fortunate that I know both personalities, Dr. Sehgal and also Dr. Proda, for almost 70 years, both of them. And I'm glad Dr. Sehgal happened to work with very renowned maize scientist, Dr. Brown, and I think that was very good on, and then whatever he has done on hybrid corn and how he has built up the, how he has built up the seed industry in many countries of the world, especially in the developing world. I have been associated with Dr. Sehgal in several ways. Many times I have requested him to hire some people, and his reply was always, this is our entry point, but the sky is the limit, So that was a very famous thing he will always say, Also at critical times when seed needed help, sometimes they wanted to close the program, I approached him, and actually he was very, very kind, to provide support at least for 3 to 4 years, especially for the Asian Regional Maize Program, There was a time when they wanted to close this program, and, the associate director, Dr. Ganeshan, who was there, he came to my office in Summit, Mexico, that Simitis wants to close this program. If I could write to him to provide some support. And actually, I wrote him an email and got immediate reply that I will supply you $100,000 for the next 3 years. So that was very nice of him, to provide support for the program, which would have been closed long time ago, And fortunately, I have also have been associated with him in many ways, they had a foundation where they needed some help in maize development. So try to help to develop their technical program, try to get as much materials in well lines, etc., and also try to make some patriotic groups and other things so they can work a little bit more efficiently, And I am also on the advisory board of the Self Foundation, and whenever some meetings are held, so I'm also invited to do that. Now, on the other hand, my other friend, I think we have been students, Dr. Proda, student together, and again, the two giants, Dr. A.B. Joshi and Dr. Swaminathan, we both had chance to study under their leadership. Now, TAS, actually, just like to mention, I have seen how it is grown. When I visited first time, TAS office, because I was still in Mexico at that time, they had only one secretary and no computer, nothing, And somehow I decided to give them the first computer which they had in their office, So that was very important, but I'm very glad if you see here, how much they have grown here, how many publications they have brought, how many brainstorming sessions they have held, So I think it's very, very impressive. And then I think he has a very small team, basically he was assisted by Dr. Anand Singh, most of people and one secretary and one office boy. And even now, the amount of work they do, the publication they have brought out in time, I think is very amazing. And I think the support he has from, especially from Dr. Bhagmal and also Dr. Sirvasa, is just amazing, So that is one thing is very good. I think one thing is also very important. Dr. Sehgal has been very kind. If you see the corporate member, there are not very many corporate members, as I see from the list. And when he was requested, because corporate membership means you have to give 10 lakhs rupees, So I think he was again one of the few persons who became the corporate member, for the task. So that was very, very good. Also, I think the initial stages, we need a computer in the office, printer also in the office. And I requested their office in Gurgaon, can you provide us one printer for the task office? And he was again very kind to provide it. So again, I think even for small things to mention here, anytime we needed his help, he was very kind. And I think to me, he was my elder brother, and Dr. Purda is my younger brother. So both of them works like this here. So I'm very proud. Without taking too much time, I think what Dr. Suri Sehgal has accomplished is just amazing. And what Dr. Purda has amazing, also very, very amazing. So both personalities, I think let's give a big hand to both of them. And congratulations to Dr. Sehgal.
Thank you, sir. It is always a pleasure to listen to visionaries like you. I now request Dr. R.S. Paroda to please felicitate our chief guest, Dr. S.K. Vasu, with a shawl, plaque, and a beautiful plant, I suppose. So we are truly honored with your presence today. Thank you, sir. I now invite Dr. Anjali Makhija, CEO, SM Sehgal Foundation, to please say a few words. Good evening, Dr. Vatsal, Dr. Paroda, Dr. Sehgal, congratulations to you once again. An award so well deserved, and I'm so honored to be taking the award on your behalf. First of all, I would just like to thank Tas and Dr. Paroda especially. I think it's so wonderful to be associated with such a prestigious think tank, Tas. And in agriculture, we have been working since past 23 years in Sehgal Foundation. And I hope our association with TAS can continue and we can make progress in partnership with TAS in future. I also hope that this platform will help us to expand our work in rural areas. And I want to really mention that this is not just an award to Dr. Sehgal, but it is an award to recognize an institution which Dr. Sehgal has started. My association with Dr. Sehgal started 23 years back. When I started Sehgal Foundation, I thought I will just, work here for 2-3 years.
and I will just, go because I'm from the development sector. So I thought, I will not stay on. But really, I would like to mention that his spirit of compassion and his alignment to business skills inspired me to stay on. And he always used to lead with compassion. So he always used to teach us we should run the foundation like a business in terms of efficiency and strong deliverables, but with strong, compassionate values. So that is what we have learned. And under his leadership, we have been able to start from 4x4x4, we used to call it, 4 villages, 4 years, 4 programs. And now we have plans to expand to the new slogan, which we say is 15 by 20 by 30 in terms of 15 states, 20 million outlay and 3,000 villages by 2030. That is a very audacious goal and we hope to achieve it under Dr. Sehgal's leadership. One more point which I specifically wanted to mention is that Dr. Sehgal truly believes that the team is the asset of any organization. And because of this strong team spirit, we have created an institution and we have been able to grow to over 2,000 villages in 12 states in the past few years. And we have audacious goals to expand. Thank you, Dr. Sehgal, for your continuous inspiration, leadership, and commitment to the agribusiness and the development sector. And I hope we continue to take the baton forward and the footprints for many, many years ahead so that we can benefit and reach out to more rural communities. Thank you, Dr. Sehgal, and thank you, Dr. Puroda. And I would also like to acknowledge our team of Sehgal Foundation, which is here, a few of them, and also the team of High Tech. Moin is there, the managing director. That is another seed company which Dr. Sehgal has spearheaded. So thank you so much for this acknowledgement and the recognition. Thank you so much. Thank you, Dr. Makhija. To conclude today's program, I request Dr. Bhagmal, Secretary TAS, to please propose the vote of thanks.
Thank you, Sonal. Good evening to all of you. Honorable Chief Guest, Dr. S.K. Vasal, Dr. Raj Puroda, Chairman TAS, Dr. Swaminathan, Dr. Suri Sehgal, Dr. Gurbachan Singh, Shri Raju Barwale, Dr. Anjali Makhija, many eminent experts in the audience and those abroad attending virtually, distinguished invitees, participants, press and media representatives, ladies and gentlemen. Now we have come to the end of this award ceremony, and it is my proud privilege to propose vote of thanks. As you all witnessed, the award ceremony had indeed been very, very successful. Dr. M.S. Swaminathan Award for Leadership in Agriculture was in fact instituted by TAS in 2004 in the honor of Professor M.S. Swaminathan, who had been the main architect of Green Revolution in India and is a staunch supporter of our Green Revolution. So far, this prestigious award has been conferred on 13 eminent scientists from India and abroad, including Dr. Suri Sehgal, who has been bestowed with this award today. It gives me immense pleasure to express my deep sense of gratitude and most sincere thanks to Dr. S.K. Vasal, former Distinguished Scientist CIMIT and World Food Prize Laureate, for sparing his most valuable time and being the chief guest of today and giving away the award, and for his thought-provoking address. I am highly grateful to you, sir. I express my grateful thanks to Dr. Soumya Swaminathan, Chairperson MS Swaminathan Research Foundation, Chennai, for joining the function virtually and conveying the blessings of Professor MS Swaminathan, who has been always witnessing the award ceremony so far every year. Dr. Raj Puroda, Chairman TAS and former Secretary there and DG ICR, is the brain behind the meticulous planning in organizing the award ceremony. In fact, his guidance, supervision, and constant follow-up at every stage had been instrumental in making the event a great success. My grateful thanks to you, sir, for the welcome address and for giving the background and setting the context concerning this prestigious award. I take this opportunity to wholeheartedly congratulate Dr. Suri Sehgal, founder SM Sehgal Foundation India and Sehgal Foundation USA, for being bestowed with the prestigious Dr. MS Swaminathan Award for Leadership in Agriculture for 2022. I express my most sincere thanks to him for joining the event virtually, though it would have been a great pleasure if he could have attended the function physically, which of course could not be possible due to several reasons. My profuse thanks to Dr. Gurbachan Singh, Vice Chairman and Trustee TAS, for his guidance and constant support to TAS and for reading out the citation of Dr. Suri Sehgal. To Sri Raju Barwale, Trustee TAS, for sponsoring this prestigious award and giving the marks as a sponsor of the award. To Dr. Jay Sehgal for making available the film on Dr. Suri Sehgal, and to Dr. Anjali Makhija, CEO Sehgal Foundation, for receiving the trophy and citation on behalf of Dr. Suri Sehgal and also for her brief remarks. My profuse thanks to all the trustees of TAS for their constant guidance, support, critical inputs and suggestions for TAS programs and activities. I also express most sincere thanks to all the eminent experts from India and abroad who joined virtually, the Vice Chancellors of SAUs, DDGs and ADGs of ICR, Directors of ICR Institutes, Joint Directors, Deans, Heads of Divisions of IRI and other institutes and Heads of Regional Offices of CG Centers, and all distinguished invitees and participants for sparing their valuable time in attending the award ceremony. My sincere thanks to Ms. Pooja Murada, Director Communication Sehgal Foundation, and Dr. S.K. Malhotra, Director DICMA ICR, for their immense help in media coverage of the event, to Ms. Sonal D'Souza for anchoring the event, and to Dr. J.L. Karihalu, Dr. Umesh Srivastava, and Ms. Simmi Dogra for providing needed support in organizing this award ceremony. I also take this opportunity to extend my sincere thanks to MICO for sponsoring the award right from the inception, to the National Academy of Agriculture Sciences for providing the auditorium and other related facilities, and to ICAR for providing the facility of guest house and cafeteria. Last but not the least, my sincere thanks to all those who helped directly or indirectly in making the program a great success. Thank you all once again. You are all invited now to join at dinner at the Cafeteria International Guest House. Maybe you can say how to proceed. Thank you.
We thank you online participants for joining. And the in-person people present here, please join us for dinner. We'll be moving to the International Guest House. I think we can follow each other, so I don't have to really give directions. Thank you.